Let me tell you about a man named David. David is 34 years old. He's overweight. He knows it. His doctor told him 2 years ago, "David, if you don't change your diet and start moving, you're heading toward a heart attack by 45. David nodded. He went home, he bought a gym membership, downloaded a diet app, and told his wife, this time, things are going to be different. 3 weeks later, the gym membership is collecting dust, the app is deleted, and David is back on the couch ordering the same pizza he always orders. Here's the thing. David is not lazy. David is not stupid. David is not even unmotivated. David is just human. And this video is about why people like David, maybe like you, maybe like me, never change, even when we fail, even when we know exactly what we should do. We live in the most informed generation in human history. You can find a 10-step plan to fix your finances in 5 minutes on Google. You can watch a YouTube video on how to eat healthy, how to build discipline, how to stop procrastinating, all before breakfast. We are drowning in knowledge. And yet, people are still broke, still unhealthy, still stuck in the same job they hate, still repeating the same arguments in the same relationships. Why? Because knowledge is not the problem. And this is the first truth most people never accept. We think, if I just find the right book, the right method, the right system, then I'll finally do it. So we read one more book, watch one more video, take one more course, and we call that progress. But it's not progress, it's procrastination in disguise. Knowing what to do and actually doing it, those are two completely different skills, and most of us have only trained one of them. Here's where it gets deep. Think about the last time you tried to change a habit. Maybe you wanted to wake up early, or stop smoking, or save money. And it worked for a few days, maybe even a few weeks. And then, slowly, quietly, you slipped back. Why does that happen? Because you never changed who you believed you were. See, most people try to change their behavior without changing their identity. They say, I want to go to the gym, but deep down, they still see themselves as someone who doesn't really work out. And identity always wins. Your brain is incredibly powerful, but it's also incredibly loyal. It is loyal to the story you tell yourself about who you are. If you believe you are a procrastinator, your brain will find every excuse to procrastinate. If you believe you are bad with money, your brain will sabotage every financial plan you make. Not because you're broken, but because your brain is just doing its job, keeping you consistent with your identity. This is why the person who says, I'm trying to quit smoking, almost always fails. But the person who says, I'm not a smoker, they have a real shot. Same action, completely different identity. Change your story and your behavior will follow. Skip that step and nothing sticks. Now here's the part nobody wants to hear. Some people don't change not because they can't, but because on some level, the pain they're in is more comfortable than the unknown ahead of them. That sounds crazy, right? But think about it. That job you hate, it still pays the bills. You know the routine, you know what to expect tomorrow. That unhealthy relationship, it's painful, yes, but it's familiar pain. You've learned to survive it. Change? Change is terrifying, because change means stepping into a version of yourself that doesn't exist yet. And the brain treats that uncertainty like a threat. Psychologists call this status quo bias, our built-in preference for things staying the same, even when the same thing is hurting us. The devil you know really does feel safer than the devil you don't. So people choose the familiar failure over the uncertain possibility of success every single time. We like to think we are logical creatures. We are not. We are emotional creatures who use logic to justify decisions we've already made emotionally. Think about New Year's resolutions. Why do they fail? Because they are made from inspiration, a temporary emotional high. And when the emotion fades, the behavior fades with it. Real change doesn't come from motivation. Motivation is a feeling. Feelings come and go. Real change comes from systems, environment, and identity.
The 3 things that keep working even when you don't feel like it. You don't need to feel motivated to brush your teeth every morning. Why? Because it's automatic. It's identity. It's environment. The toothbrush is right there. When you build your life so that the right behavior is the easy behavior, you stop relying on willpower. And willpower is the most unreliable thing in the world. Okay, so now you understand the problem. Let's talk about the path out. First, stop waiting to feel ready. Ready is a myth. Nobody feels ready. You act and then readiness follows. Second, change your identity before you change your behavior. Ask yourself, what kind of person would I need to be to naturally do this thing? Then start acting like that person, one small decision at a time. Third, design your environment. Don't rely on willpower. Put the running shoes by the door, delete the apps that waste your time, make the bad choice hard and the good choice easy. Fourth, shrink the change. Most people try to overhaul their entire life in 1 week. That's not transformation, that's burnout. Instead, find the one small thing that, if done consistently, shifts everything. James Clear calls it the 1% better rule. Small shifts compound into massive change. And fifth, forgive yourself for slipping.